All right, welcome back to Most Imaginative Bartender. Obviously, we are still stuck in my apartment, but we've got a lot of good gin, so we're doing okay. We are here to talk about creativity again and hopefully inspire you at home during this pandemic. What better time to talk about creativity than around the holidays? Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, guys. This video is gonna show you the creative outlet of the 12 most imaginative bartenders. We're gonna have a deeper look into their creativity, their passions, their dreams, and their goals.
Totally. And today, Christian Suzuki.
Suzu.
You might know him as Suzu. He comes out of San Francisco. Really inspiring individual. For me, his creative outlet of storytelling, the twist that he took on that was really impactful.
Well, his project called Atekai, obviously inspired by Japan, was all about telling the story of the unrepresented people in our community, in our bar industry.
Well, let's see what he's put together for us.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The act and the ability of listening and storytelling, I do believe, will change the world. My name is Christian Suzuki, or you can call me Suzu for short. I wanted to talk about my creative outlet, storytelling. What I started through Most Imaginative Bartender was the Atekai project. Atekai in Japanese translates to warmth or warm shoulder, and the purpose of this project was to create a platform where people can utilize tools to share a story, to talk about some of the issues that we face in the restaurant and bar industry. We are filming here in Clarion Alley in San Francisco. If you look at all the murals all around me, there's just so much representation of the underspoken voices in our community, and that's really what my creative process and my creative outlet was about, sharing stories of the people who I think don't exactly have an amplified voice. The beginning of my creative process with this competition was about storytelling through the lens of my heritage. In the 1940s, my grandparents together opened up a restaurant business, but my grandmother got a lot of backlash for being a woman. With her rebellion and mentality, she was just like, I'm just gonna keep on doing my thing, and passed that trait down to my mother. My mother had the American dream of opening a restaurant, and when she did, she had a lot of backlash from her local community for being an immigrant. The injustices and the lack of opportunities make me really want to work so hard, and that mentality, that hunger really comes from all these different stories that I hear, whether if it's from my family or the people who are sitting in front of me. That's why I created the Atekai project, to create content for people and to amplify and share their stories. One of the reasons I found that collecting these stories was so important is every single person that I interviewed shared a different kind of background, a different kind of story. A single mother who's been bartending and struggling to get the attention and needs that a single mother or even a mother needs to begin with in our industry. Trans man who is a huge representation of the LGBTQ+ community, but also kind of identifying a lot of the divide even within that micro community as well. An immigrant who explained to me their struggles to come to the US, all the steps they had to take in order to create their own business and thrive from that. I wanted to come from like an organic perspective and to talk about diversity and why it's important to be diverse in a business, like, you know, whether if you're about to create a business or looking at your current one today. The people that I spoke to were not being represented in one way or another. If you have the power of listening, then you have the power of changing. If we can start out by, you know, talking to the people that come to our bars, come to our restaurants, who hire people, who want to create businesses, you know, we live in a time where we have so much power to do that, but we is not always a we, it's always we exclusive. And I really want to eliminate that exclusivity and focus more on we as in literally everyone who's walking around us. For anyone who wants to find more stories and to be educated, all you have to do is just open your ears. That's really it. There are so many people around us, whether if it's, you know, your local bartender, it could be the person working at your laundromat. Everyone has something to say, and it's important to understand everyone's different levels of needs and wants and goals. You don't have to search hard. Literally, there's people all around us that have different kinds of roadblocks that need to be listened to. That's why I created the Atekai project, to really amplify the voices and share the stories of those who do have those setbacks.
I'm really grateful for Suzu because his path wasn't the conventional one, right? Everybody thinks creative outlet, they think something physical, a photo, a painting. But truly, if you know Suzu, if you know Christian, you know that this is him, inside and out.
Correct. And he was able to be inspired by, as you say, from his life and his family most, right? And translate that in who is him today. And especially with this project, which is an absolutely fantastic project and definitely needed for our community and for us as well as a premise.
And hopefully this inspires you to think about creativity not just as a tangible piece that you've created, but there's a lot of ways of communicating and being inspired, and also there's a lot of things that influence us in our creative outputs behind the bar.
Just go for it, do it, tell your story.
Tell your story and really dig into why you think, why you push yourself the way you do. Excited to see what you guys take from this and take from Suzu. I know he's touched me in a very powerful way. Thanks for joining us.